Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pizza Time Chronicles. It is time to get lost in the pizza sauce. Everybody, we only bring the best when it comes to the Pizza Time Chronicles. And today I have a marketing genius. He is recovering from a very strong loss this past Sunday from the Super Bowl, but he is here. He is well. Mr. Tim Burt, how are you doing, Tim?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on Pizza Time Chronicles. And just to kind of just say something very quickly, when you told me that, when you asked me to be on Pizza Time Chronicles, I thought the name sounded very reminiscent of something that you would have seen or read if you had gone to a Pizza Hut, maybe in the 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe even the early 2000s. Like when you sat down and they put the paper placemat in front of you. Like this would have been the story, what's going on at Pizza Hut, the Pizza Time Chronicles. That's what it sounds like to me. So whether it is or not, we'll find out. This is your show, but I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Tim, it is an honor to have you here. The fact that you're here right now, this proves how much this podcast was growing this past year. We had a lot of great guests. If you have seen the past episodes, we had your partner, Bruce. Yeah. I don't know how much you like him. I'm just kidding.
I tolerate him. No, I'm just kidding. He's a great guy. Super smart, knows his stuff. That's why I do business with him, because he's best in class. So
exactly. When I see you and Bruce together, I see a dynamic duo. I see Batman and Robin. I don't know who's Robin. I don't know who's Batman, but
I'm the Batman.
Of course you are. Bruce is going to see
no mistake.
Bruce is going to see this later. He's probably going to say I'm Batman. But Tim, let everybody know who you are.
Yeah. Well, my name is Tim Burt, and if you've never heard of me before, I have more than 30,000 commercials to my name around the world, which have sold over $500 million worth of stuff all over the planet. And 25 years in radio. The last 16 of those, I was with CBS Radio, and as here in St. Louis, where I live, and was responsible for about $40 million in ads a year. And but ever since 1999, I've owned my own company, Tim Burt Media, and 5 years ago, I walked away from CBS just because I saw the writing on the wall, and it's time to do my own, focus on my own thing. So I coach, consult, speak, written 3 books, spoke all over the world. So that's basically me. I just do marketing and stuff.
That's awesome, Tim. I mean, business people are trying to learn how to market. And I think that's the most important thing that some people overlook. Some people overlook when they get into business. Probably not the first thing they think about.
Well, it depends. I've worked with Fortune 500 companies, Toyota, Gray Bar, Burger King, South African Airways, Jack's Links. I've worked with some really heavy hitters, but the vast majority of my work comes with entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small businesses. And it just depends. There's the business owner that gets up and says they see an obvious hole in the market, for whatever it is that they do. Mm-hmm. And they say, oh, well, I want to start a business. Great. And they know that if they do this thing, whatever this service or good is that they're going to provide, I think marketing, and everybody's different, but marketing is something that sticks in the back of their mind. Like they know they have to do it. It's just to what degree how much attention do they give it? And the biggest mistakes that I see being made are a lot of these business owners, they just copy what else is out there. And that's the worst thing you can possibly do, because you're just literally, it's like a mud pit. You just jump in and you're rolling around with all the other pigs in the mud. Well, you got to do something to not roll around with all the other pigs and make yourself truly stand out. So that's the big mistake I see. But yeah, it's vitally, vitally important.
We talk about the holes, and I brought up the Super Bowl earlier. You specialize on Super Bowl ads. and I know you kind of have your own Facebook page with roasting the commercials.
Right.
Speak a little bit about that and why you critique the commercials the way you do.
Well, I'm gonna give you the dirty little secret behind Super Bowl ads. First off, every year, and this happens every year, Gio, or do I call you Mr. Pizza? What do I call you? Exactly.
G-Slice.
G-Slice. I'm sorry, Mr. G-Slice. Here's the real truth about Super Bowl ads. Every year, there's always the inevitable news story. You'll hear it. It'll say, well, gosh, what advertisers are going to be in the Super Bowl this year? Who bought time? Who's going to be on? Who can we expect to see? What they don't address is the reason why that turnover is so high. The average turnover, and so in other words, how many businesses weren't on last year that were on this year? Every year, on average, that is 80%. So in other words, 4 out of the 5 businesses you saw last year, you won't see this year. Or the 4 out of the 5 you saw this year, you won't see next year. And why is that? It's one very simple reason. It's because the businesses that left saw no measurable return on their investment. In other words, they didn't make any money. So why would you throw $10 million, whatever, $10, $15 million at something for 30 seconds that you hope lives forever online or in the minds of the audience? And why would you spend this money if you see no return on it? You'd be better off spending that money elsewhere or just burning it. You know what I mean? Really.
Right.
So that's the dirty little secret behind Super Bowl ads. So USA Today, they have this ad meter thing. They've been doing it forever. They judge it on what's the most entertaining, what's the most funny, which one did you like? Oh, I like that commercial. Great. You can like it all you want. Is it going to make you want to buy the product? That's the question I have. And if the answer is no, then what have you really accomplished?
Right.
Not really a whole lot.
I know with the commercials this year, they were very celebrity dense. Like there were celebrities almost in every single one.
Yeah,
they did not necessarily stick. I mean, there's some products that did, especially the car commercials. I think the car commercials, I didn't even know it was supposed to be a car commercial until I think Toyota, I think they had a phenomenal story. They highlighted a phenomenal story, but then they put Toyota in there, and I was like, I did not know this was a Toyota commercial.
Yeah, that could have been anything. That could have been Coca-Cola, LinkedIn, Microsoft, could have been Apple, could have been literally, if you go back and watch that commercial and you take out Toyota at the end and you put Pizza Time Chronicles in there, it does not change anything about that ad. Those are the worst types of ads because it's interchangeable. It's literally, you could plug anybody in there and you would have had the same effect. People go, oh, that's kind of cool. Next. That's a losing formula.
Honestly, the worst commercial for me was McDonald's commercial. I think they missed a huge opportunity, especially you got the hack menu. But like I thought it could, especially they hyped it up before the Super Bowl. I thought, usually when promoters, they kind of wait to the Super Bowl for the commercial to release. But they promoted it. And everybody thought, oh, it's the return of the snack wrap. It's the return of the steak, egg, and cheese sandwich. People were expecting that, but no, we got for 30 seconds. Like we all do that. Like we don't go to McDonald's and know what we're going to order. Most of the time we're getting the same thing. Yeah.
There's always a lot of missed opportunities, I think, in Super Bowl ads, G-Slice. And the best ones are the ones that sell. And unfortunately, those are the ads that you rarely hear anything about. The best ad, and I kind of fancy myself as a Super Bowl ad historian. I saw one of the best, easily top 5 ads of all time was in this Super Bowl. And it was Coinbase. And it was the QR code that was bouncing around like the old DVD screensaver. What you may not have heard is they had 20 million people visit their site within 1 minute. And the site actually crashed. Now, the site crashing is one thing, but show me some other place that you can get 20 million people in a minute to hold their phone up to the screen and go and snap that and go to Coinbase.com. and win Bitcoin or whatever they were doing. That's phenomenal. That's outstanding. And the thing is, you just don't hear those. You hear, oh, so-and-so was funny, huh? Did you see the ad with Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd? Oh gosh, that was great. Yeah, well, who was it for? I don't know. Were they eating chips or something? Yeah. Okay. Is that going to increase their sales? I don't know.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Coinbase pretty much stole the show. I know Marvel was in the beginning because everybody, I mean, they can get people to YouTube. People always follow that. People want to watch the trailers.
Sure.
Marvel already has their fan base. Even without the commercial, I don't even think they had to publicize on the Super Bowl. I think they could have done it at any time. People are always waiting for the next Marvel trailer. But Coinbase pretty much stole the show. I was following it. I'm like, what is that? I took out my phone and did the QR code. It was so simple. And the nostalgia was there. I think that's where simplicity was best.
It always wins. Simplicity always wins. There were, if I was going to really nitpick about that ad, I wish they had something on the screen that said, when or claim $15 in free Bitcoin or whatever it was, whatever their offer was. I wish it said that somewhere on the screen. But there's another part of me that says, you know what, just that code bouncing around like this, changing colors ever so slowly and doing this and all that piqued interest for people that knew what a QR code was, and B, you figure out, after about 5-6 seconds of really watching this and it's just seeing that, going, clearly they want me to scan this code. Okay. Curiosity kills the cat, right? Oh, good. Click it. Let's see what happens. But that ad, I think, was absolutely a stroke of genius. And it stood out. It stood out for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. A lot of ads stand out for the wrong reasons. This one didn't.
I want to touch base on the simplicity is best. I don't know how many entrepreneurs you see trying to do the over-the-top marketing, trying to get crazy with their message. Again, I know you spoke upon it now, but is there a way for us to just know that, okay, it's okay to be simple, especially during this time with there's too much going on sometimes in commercials?
Absolutely. Everybody tries to, a lot of businesses try way too hard. They try way too hard and they focus on the wrong thing so many times. And we live in the whole data-driven world. What's the data say? What's the data? Well, your data, our audience likes X, Y, and Z. Well, do you really know that? How trustworthy is that data? I always say, what the hell's wrong with having a hunch and going off of it? Some of the best ads, some of the most profitable ads I've ever done came off a hunch. And I thought, you know what, if we just did this, this, and this, what else do you need? No, you're right. There's a lot of people, or a lot of businesses, think that they have to be really loud or brash or crazy. I got to do something stupid like this, bunch of videos of fails or something in my ad. That ain't what people remember. I mean, the whole point of an ad is to get, attention, show them what you got, tell them how it's going to change your life, and tell them how to get it. Beyond that, what do you need?
I mean, for me, with ads, I feel like it plays into legacy and just knowing the symbol. Sometimes you don't even need a commercial. They just know you by the symbol. For example, McDonald's, they know them for the golden arches. They barely even I barely see McDonald's commercials until Super Bowl time or until important times. I barely see Nike commercials because all people need to see is that check mark to know it's Nike. So yeah. Do you feel that if someone just has that one message, that their message is so strong that they barely need to do commercials or marketing because people just know they are who they are? Like the message is just clear.
Oh, absolutely. You make me think of one of the best ad campaigns ever. Actually, two of them. I'll give you two. One is for a product called Head On, very popular in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, they may even stretch back to the early 90s. But it was it's a headache relief thing. And it says Head On, apply directly to the forehead. That's all their ad says. And they just keep repeating it over and over and over. Head On, apply directly to the forehead. Now available at CVS, Costco, Rite Aid, Walmart, all that stuff. And the other one, which marketers really love, and I'm not sure if the general public they've embraced it, but it may not be as deep as we think, is Motel 6. They've been using that same slogan for, I think, 50 going on almost 60 years now. We'll leave the light on for you. Every Motel 6 commercial you're going to hear, Motel 6 will leave the light on for you. Just that slogan in and of itself embodies so many things. The question is, does it make people, when you have your choice of hotels, and let's face it, we have our choice of hotels, is that message strong enough to make you think, oh yeah, I'll stay at a Motel 6, like I'll lower my standards enough to stay at a Motel 6, or whatever it might be. The question is, is that strong enough? But the thing is, they picked a slogan and they stuck with it, and they just run it over relentlessly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I never stayed at a Motel 6. I don't know if those days will ever come. Maybe they will. I'm pretty sure they will. But, Tim, I know when we talk about commercial, we share the advice about marketing. We also want to know what got you into the media, what got you into radio, and this passion of yours.
I have no idea. All I know is from a very, very early age, I was going to be either an astronaut, a game show host, or a musician of some sort. And well, NASA never called. And so I got to do game shows on the radio. So this broadcasting thing, I knew I was going to be TV, radio, something from a very early age. Don't ask me where it came from. I have no idea. But literally the stars aligned for me, because all of this stuff that I've done, all of these ad campaigns and people's lives that I've affected, not to brag, it's just, that's the truth. I've done no formal trainings, and my marketing has never won me an award. And that's a fact. So this is literally inherent, innate, just drive and skill and wanting to get better. I fell into it, and here I am. And just tried to do the best that I can possibly do. That's not to say I haven't studied. I've studied like I was taking a Harvard level exam, constantly. I'm always constantly studying, the past and the present, and the future for that matter. You look at stuff like the metaverse and all this, what's going to happen in there? I have no idea. But it doesn't matter what business you're in, what your passion is. You have to constantly study this stuff, whatever field or niche you're in. That would be my one piece of advice, is it is always changing. And especially with marketing, it seems like it changes every day.
Especially with your passions, you definitely want to master that skill that you're good at. With me, it's always been storytelling, it's been public speaking, and educating myself. Those are 3 areas that I'm always going to know this is where I do best and I thrive. And I always see that passion with you, when you do your business pitch, and you always get people excited about marketing, think about marketing in a different aspect. And, I always love to bring high-level guests onto the show, because I always like to ask them this question: has it even hit you yet? Have you even realized to this point, like where you're sitting at right now, that you produced $500 million in revenue when it comes to ads, that you've worked at CBS, that you worked at these top media companies? Has it hit you yet that this is my legacy?
No, and that's a great question. That's a really poignant question, G Slice. And the only reason I say no is because if you're not looking to add to what is going to be your legacy, I would say then you're kind of stagnant, and you got to keep those wheels turning. And I'm getting ready to unleash something that I think is going to be a defining piece of my legacy. I can't tell you what it is here now because I'm waiting for copyrights and trademarks to come back. But when that does, I'd be more than happy to share it with you here on Pizza Time Chronicles, brought to you by Pizza Time Chronicles. So that's such a great question. I think people there, and it's different for everybody. I think there are people out there that say, "Oh, I've done this thing. That's my legacy." Great. If you're happy with it, fine. But for me personally, I'm always I want to accumulate. It's almost like playing a video game. I want to get as much stuff in my account before I die. I want to have these things lined up and say, I did this, I got that. Now I'm happy, And the thing is, I don't know where the finish line is. I just keep kind of racking up stuff as I go along. So thank you for such a great question. That's really, really great.
Of course, that's what G Slate does. It brings the best out of everybody. That's why we get lost in the sauce. Because not too much, because it's too much sodium. But
it's true. That's true.
Too much sodium. We can't have that. I already had hypertension. That's not a fun time. But anyway, obviously, there's probably a lot of entrepreneurs watching this right now, a lot of businesses, especially with a marketing genius like yourself. For the next 10 years, especially this next 2, what can you say that businesses and entrepreneurs have to do now? What is I'm going to succeed versus if I don't do this, I'm going to fail?
Let me answer your second question first. The thing that if they don't do that, they're going to fail is if you stop advertising, if you stop marketing. And here's the thing. It has changed so much in the last 3 years, 2 years. When did TikTok come on the scene? About 3 years ago ish, something like that.
When the pandemic started.
Yeah. Okay. 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the traction things like TikTok has. And there's going to be another TikTok. There's going to be another Facebook. There's going to be another Instagram. There's going to be another thing. Do we know what it is? No, we have no idea what it's going to be. So first off, use the platforms that exist right now to your advantage. Never, ever, ever stop marketing yourself. Number one. In fact, that's job number one for you. I don't care what you do. Marketing yourself is job number one. And so if you stop doing that, you will fail. I guarantee you'll fail. I can promise you that. And the first question, what's coming? I think that was basically the gist of the first question. We have no idea. What can you do to prepare? As my friend Mindy Hart, who runs an agency in Kansas City, dear friend of mine, as she says, and this is such a great phrase, so you might want to write this down. She said, you have to be powerful like an aircraft carrier, but nimble as a speedboat. So you've got to be able to turn and adapt what you have on a dime. So that's why it's important to have pieces of your marketing that you can split out and say, this section will work on this new platform. This piece will work. Now that's not going to work there, but it'll work on this little chunk will, absolutely, because that audience is whatever. So you've got to be strong and mighty, but be able to turn on a dime. And if you can do that, you can go a long, long way.
Amazing. Everybody, if you're watching the show, make sure you scroll back. That's why we have the scroll back bar thing. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. You scroll back and you continue to collect these gems. This is free access for you, everybody. You don't understand the amount of guests that I had on this show that have been dropping gems and you're still looking for answers. Yet you don't pay attention to the guy wearing the Kangol hat and the sunglasses and the pizza hoodie and the quality of guests that I've been bringing on. Sometimes this show doesn't even make sense, but we made it make sense for the past year, and we're on Hispanglish radio for a reason. And I didn't even know a pizza. You know, Tim can be anywhere right now, but yeah, he's being interviewed by a slice of pizza that enjoys Oreos.
That, you know, that's one of those things that I'm going to add to my legacy. I mean, how many people can say they've been interviewed by a slice of pizza that loves Oreos? I mean, seriously, this is, you know, it's another thing to, you know, chuck up on the wall there. Look at that award. Huh? How about that one? You know, so always adding to the legacy. So what did you say you were on? Which radio is it? Hispanic something? What is it?
Hispanglish radio.
Oh, Hispanglish. God,
yes,
that's a great name.
Yes.
Great name.
Hispanglish, owned by my very good friend Mario Abreu. He is growing, and he said, "Gio, we need some pizza sauce on the Hispanglish radio." And I said, I would gladly supply the pizza sauce. Maybe it's not the best brand because I'm a college student and on a college budget. Maybe It may come from Aldi. But it gets the job done. It gets the job done.
Whatever works, man. Whatever. Make it work. Make it work.
If it ain't DiGiorno's, it's going to be Anne Marie's Pizza. Aldi. I'm just mad I know these brands. I love Aldi. Aldi has some great stuff. But, Tim, you know, we're closing. We're wrapping up. I have 2 more questions. The last question I asked all my guests, but you know, the next question I want to ask you is, what do you say to the business owner who's looking for accessible ways to get into marketing? Maybe they don't have the amount of access to compare to other entrepreneurs, but they want to start marketing as early as possible.
Boy, that's another great question. Be careful where you get your information. There's a lot of people turn to the free online library called YouTube, and you can listen to some of these incredibly high profile self-promoting marketers. Great. But just, I would say, be very wary of the quality of information that you get. And that's the real trick. Quantity of information, there's no supply, there's no shortage of supply. It's everywhere. But the quality is what you have to look out for. And the question is, what defines quality? Well, I would say this. Professional athletes have coaches. And until you really hire a coach that has an established pedigree and track record, you're going to be lost. So find somebody that you think that feels right to you, that you kind of resonate with what they're saying. It doesn't apply to your business. And you got to be honest with yourself. A lot of business owners lie to themselves. Oh, I like this guy. Deep down, they're going, I don't know. I don't know. We'll try it. Man, the world moves too fast now for you to be, air quotes, trying stuff. Find a coach, and you got to spend some money. You got to invest in yourself, invest in your business. That would be my suggestion.
Awesome. And you know, if you're definitely looking for coaches, if you're looking for people who know the game for what it is, who will bring you to the next level, like I'm working with them now, you know, definitely reach out to Tim, reach out to Bruce. Their episodes are going to be airing the same week. So the amount of knowledge that you're going to be getting in 1 week, I don't know. Who will go first? I don't. It'll probably be Bruce. But everybody, the amount of knowledge that Tim's deep down is like, damn it, Bruce. But everybody, you know, the amount of knowledge, again, make sure you scroll back. You take your time watching these videos. Because again, it is more than just a guy wearing the pizza hoodie and the Kangol hat and the sunglasses, because he's a totally different character and the other side. So there's no Gio and G Slice are 2 different people. Maybe not in many aspects, but who knows?
You know what you could do too, just as a quick thought. People love puppets for whatever reason. I think if you had a pizza slice, a puppet, and maybe you did that was the interviewer. That could be, I don't know. Maybe
Who
that's
knows?
maybe that's Pizza Time Chronicle for kids. I don't know. That could be a separate show. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Pizza Time
Just
Chronicle. I got too many costumes, but I already dressed as Spider-Man. I literally dressed as an Oreo at one point. It's just who knows what's next. Maybe I'll get obsessed with another brand. Maybe
there you go.
Champion's next. I love Champion. Maybe it's Kangol.
Sure.
23-year-old wearing Kangol.
I mean, that's bold. I love it. You can pull that off. I can't.
Who knows?
So it looks good on you though.
But Tim, I got one final question for you as we wrap up here. You've been around the world. You've done advertising. You've been at many sporting events, especially Super Bowl. Your favorite team is the Cincinnati Bengals. I know it hurts. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so you went farther than we did. We were sitting at home.
It's okay.
But my question to you is, what is your all-time favorite when it comes to pizza, and where's that pizza from?
Oh, that's well. Having traveled now, this is tough. Boy, I'll tell you what. Lou Malnati's in Chicago. I don't know if you've ever had Lou Malnati's Chicago style pizza. Oh, it is about as thick as a Brooklyn phone book, and it is. I mean, it's so hard to describe. It's Lou, Lou, and the last name is Malnati. I think it's Malnati, I believe. It's a Chicago staple. It's super deep dish. I mean, it's like deep dish on steroids. If you love deep dish, you can't go wrong. In fact, when I was working at CBS here, there were people that would go up to Chicago and they would bring back frozen Lou Malnati's, and we would get our orders in and have them bring it back. It was that good.
That's awesome. I mean, Now you can do that. I think to Food Bellies, I think it's some food delivery service. You can literally order it.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you can literally order. You can get cheesesteaks from Philly if you live all the way in Chicago. It's insane. I think it's called Food Bellies. It's one of those services.
Sure.
Literally, it's like an ice pack. They send it to you. It's more expensive, but it's because it's refrigerated. But that's awesome. Very rarely has anybody mentioned Chicago style on this podcast. So it's good that we have variety, because there's been a lot of New York style. People prefer the New York style.
New York style is great too, no doubt. I love it. I'll tell you, two things. One, if you're ever in Cincinnati, go to a place called La Rosa's. It is a staple. They've been around since I was a kid. Sell their sauce in stores. It's delicious. It's called La Rosa's. And I will tell you this, not the worst, but probably the most disappointing pizza I ever had was when I was actually in Italy. I just didn't do anything for me. It's kind of like,
that's not the first time I heard that.
Yeah. It's just different,
we had a couple pineapple pizzas in there.
See, I love the Hawaiian ham pineapple. Oh,
no, I didn't work. It grew on me. I was totally against it. It grew on me.
It's an acquired taste. Yeah.
We had some Pizza Hut. We had some Domino's.
What about Jets? You ever heard of Jets Pizza?
I've heard of it. I've never.
Oh, that's really good. Really good.
I hope it's not like the football team. That's all I got.
No, it's quite the opposite. It's actually very good.
Exactly. It's very good. We got no Little Caesars. Nobody appreciates the 5 meat treat. So treat.
I like Little Caesars.
Little
I don't have
Caesars
anything against Little Caesars.
I think they got better. I think everybody, they have been receiving so much feedback that they just said, you know what, we're gonna make people regret this, and they're gonna start paying $6 now. But I think it's good. At $5 for a pizza, I ain't complaining.
I ain't complaining either. I'm right there with you. G-Slice. I'm right there with you.
But everybody, I thank you so much for joining me on the Pizza Time Chronicles. We still got way more guests coming on to the show. Who knows who's going to show up? Who knows what I'm gonna be wearing? Who knows if Tim Burt is gonna return? We don't know.
Of course I
We
will.
don't know what. Of course, maybe we'll have Bruce on the show at the same time.
You don't
A
want
lot more knowledge. Oh, we don't.
that.
But everybody, remember, you can't get too lost in the pizza sauce because see, that's too much sodium. You gotta sweeten things up a bit, like Tim. Just like
No.
Tim.
Yeah. Sure.
But everybody, enjoy. Have a great whatever morning, day, whatever you're going through. Maybe you're eating a slice of pizza. Maybe you're just eating a whole container of cookie dough, which people love to do. I don't know what you're doing, but have a great time. Keep on marketing, keep on advertising. And until next time.